Dr. Dre in the place to be. Co-rockin' shit with my homeboy Steve. After Roadium, get stupid dumb. Yo, don't think that you can get none of Dre. The motherfucking doctor, the bitch hopper, the sucker motherfucking stopper. I'm fucked up, so don't mind what I'm saying. I'm just kicking it, but Steve, Tony, A, and Susan, yo, we be choosing dope shit to put in a mix. Know what I'm saying? We kick shit like and that's a fact. And if your shit ain't in the mix, you know it's whack. And that ain't no bullshit. I'm kicking facts on a serious tip. Word up, Dr. Dre's in full effect doing serious damage, boy.
Tony A! Tony A! When you're ready, go.
Welcome back, everybody, to Roadium Radio episode 164, and we've titled this episode History in the Making. So hopefully, you know what, we make some history tonight. Other than that, I got a couple of announcements I got to make before I introduce my very special guest of the tonight. Once again, Freaky Tales will be on Friday. I just confirmed my guest. So for those of you, once again, that are tuning in who don't know, I actually run another podcast on Fridays, well, every other Friday, where we talk about the paranormal, the spooky ghost stories type of stuff. Okay. That was actually doing pretty good. So if you haven't subscribed, go to Freaky Tales podcast on YouTube and subscribe. So we'll be live there Friday at 7 o'clock. For those of you still submitting your music, thank you. Please allow me to get to it in a timely manner. Then we'll contact you via email. For those of you that are interested in tank tops, hats, shirts, sweaters. Well, I don't know if you want a sweater because, you know, summer's coming up. Go to DOCUMIXERY.com. And once again, people that are being DMing me about their order, all orders have been mailed out. Other than that, I know I have one more thing, but if I remember, I'll say it when we come back after our break. So with that being said, please allow me to introduce my very special guest, my very first guest, one of the producers of the movie Kilroy, that's available pretty much on all platforms, but I believe I've seen it on Amazon Prime. Joe Castro. ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, doing good. Thank you, Tony, for having me here today. Oh, appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming. How far did you drive? Did you have a long drive or no?
Yeah, I had about an hour. No, actually, it's 2 hour drive.
2 hour drive.
Yeah, 2 hour drive.
Well, we always got to warn people if they want to move out here to California, especially around the LA area, the traffic is crazy.
Yeah, it's I don't care where you live. Southern California is like congested, man. You live on the freeway. On the freeway. Very
true. But you know what? We pay for the weather. You know, the rent is high out here. The mortgages are high out here, but we pay for the weather. So I wouldn't live anywhere else though. As much as traveling as I've done, every time I've come back home, I want to kiss the ground. Yeah, you know, because I'm a Cali boy. Yeah. So, you know what? There's a lot of people tuned in, and they want to know who is Joe Castro, and if you could just shed just a little bit of light before we open up our conversation.
Oh yeah, I can give you the fast track on that one. Joe Castro is man. I used to I was born and raised in Orange County. Used to grew up in the gangs out there. I used to be from a neighborhood called La Jolla Street, part of a clique called the Mad Ones. And did that till I was 21 years old. Met my wife Linda and got married. We just had our 30th anniversary, and a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. So I've been away from the neighborhood for 30 years, and basically I feel like she saved my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. We have four kids, and man, they're all doing good. They're all older. They're all adults. But they're all got their education, master's degrees, associate's degrees. They're out there doing it. You know what I mean? I pushed education on my kids because nothing was pushed on me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm a pendejo, so I don't want to have no more pendejos. You know what I mean? We both did that to our kids, you know, like raise them to be the right way. But then I got into the movie business 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and real fast, man, I just executive producer on a film not too long ago, produced on Kilroy, and then I've done other films too as an actor. I've done movies and stuff like that, and I've been to acting school, and man, I'm just like getting it right now, man. God's blessing me in this career in 3 years. I had people ask me, hey Joe, like who do you know in the industry that helped you get up so fast? And I go, God. God's my number one. You know, he's like show favor in me and pushed me forward in this. And so, man, it's been crazy. It's been a ride, man.
That's awesome. You know, there was one thing that you said that stood out to me, and how you said, you know, about your children, you preached school education to them. And I think it's very, very important that we do that, because I was told many years ago as a youngster, and I never forgot it. This one individual said, if we don't father our children, the world will.
Yeah.
And many of us were fathered by the world, by the streets, if you will. You know, and that's because a lot of times either we didn't have our parents there, or we were raised right and just chose to do wrong on our own.
Yeah.
You know, and that I could speak that for myself, because I had a great mother and a great father, you know, but I chose to do wrong on my own. And the sad part about it is my parents are no longer here, and I live, to be quite honest, with that guilt of, you know, not listening. You know, so with my kids today, we celebrated, you know, my daughter's graduating from college. So I preach, you know, education as well. And that's a very, very good thing, because we've learned and we know that the streets could get us two places, dead or in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so, or sometimes even in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And
you know,
which is like the in between, right? Like, yeah. But congratulations on that too, with your daughter and your graduation.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you. So, you know what, let me ask you this. What inspired you, you know, somebody coming from the streets, somebody running the streets, you did your thing, you know, and one thing that I want to say is this, that first of all, I want to thank God, not only for myself, but for you, because many of us have done enough dirt that we should have been taken out a long time ago.
Yeah.
And you said because of God, but because it was through God's grace and mercy that we're still alive.
Exactly.
You know, so with that, what inspired you and motivated you to get into acting?
Man, honestly, it's one of those things, like I've always was intrigued with it, right? But when I got married, like I knew I had to go to work and I had to go do my 9 to 5, support my wife, support my kids, you know? And so there was never wasn't able to go and do that to like follow my dreams, let's say, you know what I mean? And until lately, like 3 years ago, my wife has a real good job. She works for the school district, and she's like, you know, you could take this time right now to you know, pursue this, you know what I mean? So I did. I just started pursuing it, and it's a weird, because the acting or the acting world it's not as big as what people think. The circles, man, you get to know one person, then that person happens to know another, and then you start swimming in this circle, and then before you know it, you're in this bigger circle over here, and it just grows and progresses, you know? But like I said, I had people ask me, like, who do you know? And man, I always say God's the one that really put me on that fast track in this industry. And to be able to be executive producer on a film, like a year into it, was like, people were like, what? Like, really? I've been at this 10 years, I'm still doing background. And I go, you know, I just saw God, you know, for me. But I just, I give 110 everything I do. Everything I do, I go to work and I give 110 to production. I give 110 to the actors. I give 110 to everybody. And I've had people say, hey, Joe, I thought you're a producer here today. And I go, I am. They go, then why are you picking up trash? And I said, because it needs to be picking up. And why not me? You know what I mean? If I see something there, I'm going to pick it up, throw it away. Why not? You know what I mean? But the way I was raised, like, just, you're going to work, do a good job. And people see it, though. And that's why they invited me on the Kilroy movie to help produce on that. And that's why I got invited to 2 more films for this year that we're going to start. And because of the way I work, you know. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you still remember the first time, well, you had mentioned that you had went to acting school, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I went to acting school right here in Hollywood. Yeah.
How was that? Was that nerve-wracking when you first signed up, your first day going there?
Man, you know what? My friend Andy Rodriguez, the filmmaker, shout out to Andy Rodriguez. He called the school, which is the Anthony Gilardi Acting Studios, which he's the best acting coach there is in the world. Basically, he is the best acting coach in the world. He called him and said, hey, I'm sending Joe down there, and talk to him, and I really would like you to accept him, because he doesn't take everybody. You know, I mean, he's got to talk to you, interview you, and do the whole process. So I did go talk to him and everything, and he let me in the school. And man, it's a trip, because, you know, as like a as a Chicano, you're used to wherever you go, you have your back against the wall, and you're cool and you're hard, and you always got to be watching your back. And man, going into those classes, you got to drop all that at the door, man. They really get you out of your comfort zone. And man, they got you acting like you're a bear in front of, and I'm talking about a class like 30, 40 people, like stadium seating, and they're all looking at you, and you're acting like you're a bear. Or it's just whatever they're doing that day, or you're acting like you're a cat or whatever. Or you do scenes in front of everybody, and you got to bring your emotion. You got to bring your A game each time, you know. And I'm telling you, these are in front of everybody staring at you. So
let me interject really quick. So I know coming from the streets, if somebody tells you act like a cat, I know by you going meow, whatever the hell you did, and people laughing. Didn't that street, like, what the hell you guys laughing? Well, ever want to come out?
Yeah, man. Yeah, seriously, man. You're like, a couple of times, man, you're there and you're acting a certain way, because sometimes they have it where everybody's acting and they're all just. And you're like a bear, and you're walking up to somebody that's acting like a dog, and then the bear's like kind of like smelling the other one, and you're like, what? Like, nah, Charlie, I can't do this. You know what I mean? I go, I can't do this. But but why did I pay all this feria to come into this class if I'm not going to give 110, you know? Right. And so I wind up doing what I have to do, but maybe I wasn't the best bear in the class, you know what I'm saying? But I tried my best, you know what I mean, to put down my guard and leave it all at the door, you know what I mean? But it's a trip, man. Like, and I always call it like just acting corny, the corny comedy show, because you got to, man. You got to do it, because when you're on set and you're doing a scene, you might have 20 people behind the camera, and you still got to get into character. So it prepares you. You know what I mean? It really does prepare you. Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if those teachers ever say, watch, I'm going to make this guy act like a pendejo, watch. Hey, homie, act like a rat. You know what I'm saying? You know, act like a cat or whatever.
Act like a rat. Ain't no rata. Yeah, exactly. But serio, like, I've had, like, after the class is done, like, people come up to me and be like, hey, man, you did a good performance. Like it's a trip to see, because the tattoos and stuff, they think I'm one way, which I kind of am, but at the same time, I'm just regular Joe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I gotta like bring it down even more. You know what I mean? Act more softer. And
wow,
it's hard, man. It's hard, but when you love what you do, you got to do it.
Now, how long were you in this acting school for?
I did 6 months out of a year. Like I was locked up. I did 6 months, and then that's when COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they were doing online classes, but I wasn't feeling it. So I put my account on freeze, so that way I can go back when things get back to, they open the studio back up.
This may be a dumb question, but were you actually really learning something there?
Man, you know what? When I got into the class and I started going in there, I thought, like, in the first couple of weeks, I was like, man, what am I doing here? You know, but then after I stayed about a month and a half, 2 months, I was like, I really started learning. I really started like developing myself as an actor, and it's weird, man. Like, you do learn, man. You do, and it's almost like therapy, man, because you wind up learning stuff about yourself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it winds up being like almost therapeutic for you mentally, and at the same time sharpening your craft as an actor. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And so far, it's paid off?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go sign back up and do another year. You know what I mean? Because I drive 2 hours to get to class and then 2 hours back. So usually I get back home at 2 in the morning, you know, and I go to class. I leave my house like around 4 in the afternoon. So I get back at 2. But it's worth it. For me, it's worth the time, you know. And but I love doing the acting, man. So what can you do? You know,
let me ask you this, because I grew up watching a lot of movies. In the 80s, I actually opened up my own video store. I think it was like my second or third job. I've only had 4 jobs. I worked in Long Beach at a video place. I found out how to run a store. I used to open and close, so I figured, let me open one up, and I opened one up down the street right here. Yeah. And it was actually doing very, very well. So I grew up watching a lot of movies. My favorite actor is obviously Clint Eastwood. I love Clint Eastwood movies. Yeah. Let me ask you this: are you a movie guy? Do you watch a lot of movies?
Yeah, definitely a movie man. I've always been into movies, or going to the theater, or just watching TV shows, movies, all that, man. Growing up, my parents, I was raised with my grandparents, because my parents were heroin addicts, so they couldn't raise me. So I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandparents always take me to Universal Studios.
Oh,
so that whole
yes.
backlot stuff, like back then, like in the 80s, 70s, 80s, man, I was intrigued by all that.
Same here.
So that's why, like, now when I'm doing it and we're on set or we're at the studios and stuff, like, I just enjoy all that back behind the scenes stuff, you know.
You know what? And I think that's probably what did it to us, because that's what my parents used to take me to.
Yeah.
And my dad taught me a lot about film. He used to have a projector, taught me how to put the film on.
Yeah.
You know, it was just amazing to introduce me to a lot of black and white movies, a lot of comedians, a lot of westerns, especially a lot of Spanish comedians, lucha libre. My dad taught me everything about music as well.
Yeah.
Now, taking those acting classes, do you ever look at actors differently and like, wow, that guy is a really, really great actor? I'll give you an example, because I think his name is Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
He played on that movie Gladiator. And I hated that guy. I hate that dude. And even sometimes when I see him in a movie, I feel like, I still can't stand that dude.
Yeah.
But you know what? He did a great job because he got you to hate him.
Yeah.
You know, do you ever look at actors now today and like, wow, that guy's, I can appreciate him even more, especially now attending those acting classes?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that, because with the coach, Anthony, I told him, I said, I'll tell you one thing, you ruined me towards movies and acting now. Because now when I watch them, I look at it in a totally different light.
Yes.
You know, and there's some people, I'll look at them, I'll say like, man, how did he get the job? Like, that's terrible acting.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? And then there's some people, I'll be like, man, that dude, that guy or that girl, they're phenomenal. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I have really been like more of a critic on the acting aspect of everything.
Right.
Now I am. Yeah, not that like I'm this top-notch actor, but I'm just saying like from everything I learned. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, who are some, if you can give us a couple, some of your favorite actors that you enjoy watching?
Nah, people are gonna hate me on this one, but Will Ferrell, I like.
Really?
I like comedy. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I like comedy, and so Will Ferrell's one that I like.
See, maybe he's a great actor because I can't stand him.
Yeah, see, a lot of people say that though, man. But I like his comedy though. His comedy, that's just, I think he's on point with everything he does. You know what I mean? And then, man, it's hard to pick, but I ain't gonna say it just because you said it.
Right.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson.
Bronson.
Yeah, man, as a quality actor, yeah, those guys killed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every movie they've ever done. You know what I mean?
You know, it's almost like it's just so natural. It's almost even hard to imagine somebody saying cut or, you know, take one or whatever, because they're so natural.
Yeah.
You know who I had the pleasure of meeting, and I believe he's a Christian evangelist now, Kirk Cameron.
Oh yeah.
Kirk Cameron. I mean, what was the name of that TV show that he was on?
Family Type? Is it Family Matters or Family Type?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I met him at a bookstore, and he was just staring at me. And then, you know, I kind of looked back at him, and I was like, "Hey, you're that guy." And we talked for about 10 to 15 minutes. And the whole time we're talking, he is exactly who he is on TV. And I told him that. And he said when he first got his first couple of gigs, that they told him, just be you. He goes, I didn't know what that meant. They just wanted his personality on the screen.
Yeah.
So, and I just think some people are just naturally like that, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing because you see certain actors on portraying, you know, different characters on TV. And when, like, you're going to meet somebody, you go, man, I hope they're like that. I hope they're, like, cool people, you know? And that happened with me with Paul Rodriguez. We're working with him on a film. And when I went up to go meet him and he was in makeup, I go, man, I hope this guy's nice, like a cool dude, you know? And I walked in there and he was getting the makeup done. And I was like, hey, Mr. Rodriguez, how you doing? Man, I'll tell you this much. I sat on set that day for 10 hours talking to him. And he had so much stories and so much, just telling us stories about his life, about acting, his parents, his dad, his heritage, man. It was just a trip, man. So he's a really down-to-earth, great person, you know. But I met some not low class, but like B-listers, whatever.
Yeah, B-list actors.
Man, they act like, man, they think they're Tom Cruise, dog. They act like
they made it.
Like their stuff don't smell. No, like they act like they are Hollywood. You know what I mean? And it's like triple, like, man, do you know who you are? Like, why are you acting like this? You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're complete divas, man. And yeah, it's yeah. But.
Well, you know what? Tell us a little bit about Kilroy. What made you get into that and be a part of the production?
Yeah, well, actually, Cedar Films and More Creative Films, they were already working on that when I got involved with it. Yeah, I came in like more towards the more than halfway point of it, right? But they already had it going, and then when I was seeing what they were doing, man, And talking to him about it, it was such a great story of redemption, great story of, being such a bad person and being in such darkness, but being able to change, Kilroy changing his life,
Yes.
and being saved by God's grace. Man, I was like, that's amazing, man. When they asked me to come on board, I was like, yeah, definitely would come on board.
Yeah.
And so we did. And man, actor Wilson Ramirez, man, he played Kilroy. Man, he did a great job, man, as an actor.
Yeah.
And that's one of those guys, like, just a good heart, great person, man. And he gave me a lot of acting tips and stuff like that. But he's such a nice person, on and off camera. But he killed it on playing Kilroy, man. He had the look, and then he just got so much into that character that he portrayed him to the T.
Awesome. I want to talk a little bit about, before we get into what we call today, making history, history in the making. Where can people, if they're interested to see this Kilroy movie, because we also want to promote it and we want to push it here as well. I know I saw it on Amazon Prime. Where else can they see it at?
Yeah, you can see it on Amazon Prime. You can see it on Tubi. You can see it on Google Video. You can rent it or purchase it on YouTube. You can also, man, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Okay.
There's a lot of locations that you can go and see it. But you know what? The greatest part of it is that I've had so many people say, Joe, it was such a great message. It was such Amazon Prime and Google Play. I had this one guy message me and he goes, I saw the movie, but I turned it off after 5 minutes. He said, I did time. I think he said he did over 20 years. He goes, but it hit him in the heart that he had to walk away from the movie. And then when he went back like a week later to finish it up, to watch it, he said it touched him a lot. Like a lot of the stuff he could relate to, and it just made him. So he had his kids watch it too, and so that way they can be a more connection of what their dad went through. Know. But yeah, and I've had people just say it's an amazing movie, like an amazing story of redemption. Just people loving on that movie. Because of the word that's in it.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about, and let's inform people, because I believe, Alex, I'm not sure if you've been bringing the link across the screen. There's going to be a link on the screen where people can eventually order the fight. And if I'm correct, it's June 29th?
26.
June 26th.
June 26, yeah.
June 26th. There's going to be a pay-per-view fight on this link that's going to be across your screen. And it is between Gunner and Cholo Trucker.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What inspired that? Whose idea was it? How did you guys put it together? Fill us in.
Yeah, that was done by the fight was actually, it was a challenge between Cholo Trucker and Sonny. And Sonny from the Streets Ain't Loyal. And they were supposed to they were challenging each other to box or whatever. But then Sonny said, you know what, I'm too old to box, this and that. So then Cholo Trucker went ahead and he, I believe he's the one that challenged Gunner. Am I correct?
Well, when he gets up
then
here...
Then I'm wrong. Yeah, I'll let him correct that. Yeah. Excuse me, because you got to remember I'm older, so I'm already senile a little bit. But in the long story of it all, they both accepted the challenge to box, But this boxing match, it's about unity, and it's about charity and fundraising, getting the money to help out these organizations. And to have two guys come together that are not professional boxers, but have the hearts of lions, you know what I mean? To get in the ring and to be able to do this for something that's bigger than themselves.
Yes.
That's
history in the making.
That's a history in the making. When we go and we do all of our updates and stuff on YouTube, people are like, never thought we'd see this in our lifetime. Keep up the great work. It's like 99% positivity on it. You know what I mean? Then you got that 1% of trolls, but they're always going to be there.
They're always going to be there.
Yeah, they're always going to be there. But 99%, everybody's just like, man, it's amazing. Keep it going, you guys. We're here to support you. And we've had people donate shirts and hats and stuff so we can give away for the boxing match, you know what I mean? To help raise funds for the boxing match and stuff like that. So we've had a lot of people supporting it, and we've had people all over the U.S., but even outside the U.S. We've had people outside the country that are watching this, that are wanting this to happen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, I know, but let's just say for somebody who's just tuning in right now, why do you think it's something that people are looking forward to, or Is it just because it's surrounding the Unity title? You know, is it because, like you said, nothing like this has ever happened? I think it's a great idea. I'm all for it. And that's why we put this together so we could promote it here on Roadium Radio. Hopefully people, hopefully this is one of the many to come. You know, but why do you think there's so much hype on it? What do you think it is?
Like Joel's personal opinion, my personal opinion on it is that there's a couple of things. People are tired of the negativity. People are tired of the bad that's out there right now. Everybody's tired of what was happening with the elections. Everybody's tired of what was happening with COVID. Everybody's tired of what was happening with BLM and the fights and the people getting killed and just all the bad that was happening. But now that we got something good coming out, something to unify the Raza, you know,
yes.
And we're not promoting it as North versus South and nothing political like that.
Right.
We're just showing that this guy that lives up here and this guy that lives down here, they can go and they can box for charity. And at the end of the fight, win, lose, or draw, they can shake hands, hug it out, and still be friends. But like I said, do something that's bigger than them. You know what I mean? To be able to help out the charities.
And that's awesome and I'll tell you why, because, you know, I'm sure it was where you're growing up. If you had a problem with somebody in the neighborhood, you handled it.
Yeah.
And then after that, guess what? You shook hands and that was it. You know, that was it. And that's what this kind of reminded me of. So that's why I'm excited to see it as well. And I want to help and promote it and push it so that other people can tune in. So, you know, because there's no market out there for it, so we got to make our own.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's like podcasts like this. I encourage others to make their own, but for positivity. Yeah. You know, not necessarily who's better or who can get more views. It's not even about that. Yeah. You know, let's make it where it's bigger than us.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll be honest with Joe, I never thought I'll be sitting right here across from you because I've said this plenty of times on shows that I didn't think I would be on here that long. But you know what? We're only here because of the subscribers, because of the viewers, people on the live chat. They tune in. People always ask me, you know, why do people tune into your channel? And I always say, I don't do nothing special, man. You know, I pay for my internet. We turned it on and I just talk. You know, I try to shine light on Raza and maybe that's what they like. Yeah. You know, so there's an audience. So if the TV ain't going to give us our own, we got to make our own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And this is history in the making because this is the first of its kind. And hopefully there'll be more, you know. Now, I wanted to ask you, because I was told, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this is a private venue where it's not going to be open to the public. Is that true?
That's true. That's just pay-per-view only.
Okay.
The pay-per-view only is just for everybody's safety. You know what I mean? That's what it's for. Because having the guys come down from the north, you know what I mean? And as it is, you know how it is. Whenever something positive or something good's happening, somebody else wants to throw a wrench in the works. You know what I mean? Yeah. So our number one priority is that everybody comes to the venue safe and everybody goes home safe. And that's number one priority. So doing a pay-per-view, you know what? And plus COVID's like the big thing. Right. Because when you do a venue, it's X amount of people only. Right. So who wants to have something where you can only have, I think they said it was 53 people. You know, basically that's your camp and your family and that's it. You know what I mean? And even some of those can't come. So so pay-per-view was the best thing because everybody gets to enjoy it, everybody gets to watch it, and everybody's safe. They won't catch COVID or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, you know, and I think that's a good thing because, and the reason why we need people to tune in and you know, and check this fight out, number one, is because this is the first time it's happening. Number two, if there's another one, possibly it could be an open venue, you know, since things are finally opening up, you know. Now, another question that people are probably wondering as well, is there going to be undercard fights?
Yeah, there's undercards and we can't release the names of the undercards right now, but it's amazing undercard matches. Yeah, they're man, I want to release it right now.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I can't. But all I want to say is that it's as exciting as our
main event.
Our main event. You know what I mean? But these other three matches are going to blow everybody's socks off. That's for sure.
Awesome, awesome. So we have 3 matches before the main event.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody, you know what? Make sure you guys tune in June 26th. History in the making. You're gonna have 4 dope matches. Believe me, you guys pay, you know, $75 to $100 to watch Mayweather running around the ring with McGregor. Okay,
Yeah.
why don't you put your money, into something that's going to support Raza?
Yeah.
Support each other.
Yeah.
If nobody isn't, you know what? Let us do it.
Yeah.
We pay stupid money for these goofy old fights, and we leave disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you think about it too, you can go to McDonald's right now with 2 people and go spend $35. Easy,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or 3 people. But this right here, you're supporting this charity. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Yeah.
Well, people spend that at just a Starbucks.
Yeah,
So-
there you go. Exactly. But I wanted to say one more thing.
Yes, sir.
We have a halftime show that's going to be like no other halftime show.
Oh, wow. Let's see.
Yeah, we have the halftime. I could talk to you about that. That's going to
Okay.
be Love Machine versus Flaco. And it's going to be tamale eating contest.
Tamale eating contest.
Yeah, and these vatos are a couple of fast eating big dudes. So, man, it's going to be interesting to see who can choke down the most
Wow.
tamales.
I hope the tamales are good.
Yeah, they're the best. And that's what I'm asking, like, our crowd, like, should we give them chicken, beef, or the one with chili and cheese? You know what I mean? Like, we're going to let the subscribers decide that.
That's awesome. So they can be a part of the show, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's dope. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We're going to come back with Cholo Trucker and our special guest.
Okay.
And we're going to be accepting the call from Gunner.
Okay.
So, and then we'll bring you back on as well.
All right, cool.
So thank you, Joe. You'll be back.
Gracias.
Everybody, once again, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We're going to come back with Cholo Trucker, our special guest, and Gunner will be calling, and we'll be asking him some questions as well about the fight. So make sure you call somebody, text somebody, and make sure you guys tune in to History in the Making. 10 minutes, we'll be back.
A.DA, chillin' at the Roadium with my homeboy Steve. Be on the lookout for our new 12-inch, the shit is dope. Yo, I like to say what's up to my homeboy Dre, my homeboy Prince of Jazz, and the girls with the big ol' ass. So Trip, I'm about to bust one more time to let y'all niggas know just what's on my mind.
In the morning, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across my bathroom floor. Out my back window, I make my escape. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape. Mad with no music, but happy cause free. And the street to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket weighing at least a grand.
Welcome back, everybody, to Roadium Radio episode 164. And before I introduce my special guest, actually two of my special guests, once again, for those of you that have been asking me, submit your music to roadiumradio@gmail.com. For those of you guys that want to buy merch, once again, or wants to buy an ad, you can reach me at DOCUMIXERY.com. Well, that's to buy the merch, but you can reach me at roadiumradio@gmail.com for your music, submitting your bio, submitting your videos. Reach us there at roadiumradio@gmail.com. DOCUMIXERY for the merch, and Freaky Tales on Friday. So see you guys Friday, 7 p.m. But let's get back to Roadium Radio episode 164, History in the Making, and allow me to introduce to you Cholo Trucker, David Rocha, a.k.a. Sir Dino. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Thank you for having me, Tony.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. You got a big fight coming up.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, 1 month from today, man.
1 month from today.
Today's the 26th.
Well, we're here to promote it. And you know what? I want to ask you, for those people that are barely starting to get familiar with you here, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, everybody always wants to know where you grew up and stuff like that. We moved around all over the place, man. There really is no place that I actually grew up.
Wow.
Originally, I'm from East LA, Montebello. Mm-hmm. But we moved around a lot. Every year, every 18 months, every 6 months, it was pick up and move. Pick up and move. We lived all over the place, man. San Bernardino, Fontana, Baldwin Park, Southgate, East Los,
wow.
Ontario, lived a little bit in South Texas. Just constantly getting up and moving, man. So, I mean, where was I raised? Wherever I lived at the time, man, you know? So that's basically what comes with that, right?
Okay.
Just picking up and moving all the time.
Right.
As far as like my channel, I actually started Cholo Trucker as a year-long project. It was really me to clear my head. I was in a really dark place at the time. It was just really eating me up, and I didn't realize how many people were out there that, they're going through that struggle as well. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it on YouTube, and I'm going to go back and kind of judge that guy, And as I was doing it, I actually completed the year, and I actually did end the channel, even though some people were like, nah, childish, don't end the channel, man, don't end it. And I did. I ended it, and, I felt kind of bad because people just kept on, bring it back. And I got to tell you, mission was accomplished.
Yeah.
I'm at a much better place today. I love life. At a certain point, I wasn't. And you know what? I started the channel back up, and I'm doing, it's great, man. I'm connecting with people, and I gotta tell you, it's a blessing, man. It really is a blessing. You really don't know till you start connecting with people, and good people.
Yeah.
The haters are always gonna be there. That just comes with the territory, Tony. The haters are always gonna be there. But when you connect with good people, and they got your back, and you talk with them and going over with them, and hooking up with LA Times and many other guys on YouTube, and actually meeting people on the street, man. It's a blessing, man. It's a great feeling. So
you got this fight coming up with Gunner, which he'll be calling soon. We'll let him know when he can call. Mm-hmm. And have you ever met him yet?
I've never met him in person, man. I've never met him in person. I think if we were to meet in person, maybe he wouldn't take the fight. I know he's watching.
Okay. By the way, those are just tweakers with fireworks,
Gotcha.
So don't worry about it. But wow. So what sparked this idea? Why him? I guess.
All right, so you had Joe, my boy Joe, up here, and he didn't really know the true story. So let me go ahead and set the record straight for everybody that's watching. So what happened, Joe got the beginning of it right. We're thinking about raising money for charities. And so I kind of got this idea of Rocky Part 3 when Rocky fought Thunder Lips, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan.
That's dope.
And I was like, hey, you know what? Sonny and I can get in there and put on a show. We're planning an event. And I say, hey, what if we just have people go out there and say, hey, who wants to throw on some gloves and just kind of spar it out or what have you? And Sonny, from the Street St. Laura podcast, shout out to Sonny, he's all like, hey, I'll fight you. So that's when the idea clicked, like, hey, him and I can put on this kind of fight/comedy show and raise a little bit of money to put for a charity. And LA Times, shout out to LA Times. My boy Joe is part of it. Paul is part of it. Times spelled with a Z. They went on a live and they were talking about that, about myself versus Sonny. And it just seemed like the people on the chat, I wasn't a part of the live, I wasn't there. The people on the chat started bringing up Gunner versus myself. So that got the ball rolling. I'd never had any contact with Gunner or anything like that. Him and I, we've never talked or we didn't know each other or anything. So it was actually the people that started bringing that up. And it sparked the idea. They brought it to my attention. They're like, hey, man, would you be down to throw some hands with Gunner, man? And we could do charity that way. I said, yeah, I'll be down with it, man. And they got at his people and the ball got rolling. And then the official call out came out where it's like, okay, you know what? So it wasn't me calling Gunner out. It was like, hey, so are you down to fight Gunner for charity? Yeah. Let's do it, man. And Gunner was down for it, and here we are now, man. We're 1 month away from the fight. It's an exciting time, man. It's exciting.
Awesome. Alice, when you get a chance, put up the link once again on the screen. David, for those of you, once again, who are tuning in right now, David Rocha, pastor, a.k.a. Sir Dino, is in the building. How did you get in the mix of all of this? Like, what role do you have to play?
It's kind of funny because people are probably like, what is he doing here? Like, and first of all, I want to say that it's good to meet you. You know what I mean? And just be here to support both of you guys. You know what I mean? That's really important to me. That's really, really important to me because I knew Paul from LA Times, and he actually interviewed me maybe about a few months ago. He has on his YouTube channel, he interviewed me. And then A Convict's Perspective with Flaco and Rojo, they have a YouTube channel going. And there's a different YouTube channel, kind of stories from prison. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but Flaco was a part of it. And he said, hey, man, why don't you do an interview on that? So in a way, I met both camps, And then with Gunner, I remember watching his channel. His channel just popped up out of nowhere a couple months ago, and it just took off. I mean, he talks about a lot of real issues, real prison issues, but he just brings comedy into it too, so I could see the attraction of why people watch him, and he would mention me a lot, and I didn't know him either, so in a weird way, I kind of knew both camps. So when this fight thing came up, I didn't even know who you were, so I looked up your channel, subscribed too, and he very intellectual stuff. He'll be in his truck and he'll just start talking about social issues and this and that. And I'm like, man, I like that. I like the fact that I like hearing Raza and somebody just be intellectual. And so I enjoyed it, and just watching both. And then when I realized that Paul was behind it, that's how I met Joe. That's how I met Sonny and all those guys, and they had said, listen, can you be the chaplain for this fight? Wow. And actually pray before these guys fight? And the fact that it's for charity, the fact that it's about unity, the fact that it's about Raza and coming together, man, you already know I'm there. You know what I mean? Anything to do with that, because this is, for me, this is a lifelong dream. Well, not when I was banging, but I mean after that,
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to see the unity, and you already know. I mean, just the fact when I came over here, the first interview, that to me broke barriers. You know, and just you, for me, I've always said this, and I said this to Paul too. I said, man, when Tony A invited me the first time, to me that broke a lot of doors, that broke a lot of walls. You know, because everybody knows, you guys know, between our state, you know, there's just conflict and there's a lot of things, you know, and I like to say that you pioneered it, man. And what LA Times is doing, Cholo Trucker's doing, Gunner, Convict's Perspective, everything they're doing is right in line, you know, and I just wanted to be a part of it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited to be a part of it and to be able to pray, you know, and it's an honor to me, you know.
Yeah, I remember, David, when you called me and you told me about this, you know, I was on my way to a store to buy, I was running some errands to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
And when you told me, I just stopped and I just sat there for like 30 minutes, you know, listening to you. And I just thought it was an amazing idea because I've never seen anything like this before.
Me either.
I mean, and let's be honest, today we have the technology, we have the resources that we could do it ourselves. We don't need big Hollywood companies behind us.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to get involved, fine. But you know what? I mean, we're pushing it here. We have our own audience now. You know, we could push our own, the word. We have our own advertisement. So honestly, thank God for technology that we can do it because when we were kids, we didn't have none of this. You know, having a cell phone back in the day would have been like you were part of Star Trek or something, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what? Now we have it. Now we do it, and we can go on and do bigger and better things, possibly even after this.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, to me, this is we don't know where it's leading, but this is a huge milestone of what you guys are doing, man. Just doing it, you know, and the fact that you guys can get in a ring and do this, I would rather see you guys beat each other up than neighborhoods beating each other up.
That's a great point.
Well, I sit back with some ice water, you know.
and I'll say this, you know, when this first started, I didn't think it was going to be what it is.
Yeah.
To me, it was just something small. It was just, maybe I didn't see the big picture at the time. But once the ball got rolling, you know, it's becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead and let everybody know, man, I feel very blessed and very honored to be a part of something like this, man, because I did not see this for what it is. I was just like, yeah, okay, we'll just go in there, throw some hands, man, and all right, you know, we raise a couple of bucks and all is good, man. All right, you know, go home. But it's growing. It's really growing. It's taking a life of its own, and man, it's a blessing. I feel very blessed and honored to be a part of it, man. Serio.
Awesome. You know what? I'm going to ask you one more question before we ask Gunner to call in. How long have you been training for now? Or when did you start, and how's that coming along?
Oh man, training's going good. You know, I've been training. You know, I always keep myself in shape. But actually training for this, it's probably been close to about a month, about 3 weeks. You know, I release my training videos, but they're always a week behind. You know, so the training video that I'm gonna release this coming weekend was actually from last week. So it's always a week behind that way. But training is going really good. I want to give a shout out to the G Unit twins. Those kids, man, you could see that I'm training with those kids. They're the ones hitting me on my stomach. Those kids can bang, man, and I'm telling you, keep an eye out on those kids.
They're not playing.
No, they're not, man. They're in there to fight, and they're gonna be champions one day. I'm telling you. These kids have got it, man.
Awesome. Did you are you, how would you say, did you grow up boxing? Do you have any experience in boxing as well?
Yeah. I mean, just like everybody, well, maybe I shouldn't say everybody, but you know, there's always boxing gyms in the barrios and stuff like that, man. So I went in there and messed around. I didn't take it as serious as I should have. Maybe I should have, you know, looking back at it, I'm like, man, you know what? Maybe if I really dedicated myself, man, because I'm pretty athletic. So, and it's just barely now coming out. You know, I'm just barely now actually taking advantage of it at my older age. But do I have like boxing experience where I'm getting in there going Golden Gloves? Nah, Charlie, I don't have it like that, you know, but I do boxing to keep myself in shape. All the boxing workouts is what I do to keep in shape. I'm not really too much into lifting weights and getting big and cosas así, you know. So I'm just mainly into boxing training and getting into boxing gyms, and that's how I keep in shape.
That's good. That's good. You know, just really quick, when I was a little kid, my brother took me to a gym out in Compton. And I don't even know if it's even still there, but I remember it because I had a picture of Muhammad Ali throwing a jab. And when he took me there, I said, I want to do that. And I didn't know what a jab was. I was just maybe 8, 9 years old, possibly. So he had me stand in front of a mirror, just throwing a jab. But I always wanted to do it like Muhammad Ali had it, but he was throwing a jab with his right hand. Now, I'm right hand. If you're right hand, you're going to throw a jab with your left. I learned how to do this, my strongest hand as a jab. Why he taught me that, I don't know. Growing up, fighting, I was always like good at like hitting dudes, and I was never really getting hit back. And then one day I said to my brother, man, I got into like 5 fights, man, and I won all of them. And he said, oh, because I taught you how to fight southpaw.
Yeah, you know what? And I'll tell you this, man. Some trainers do that. One fighter that comes to my mind is, I think, Diego Magdaleno. He's not that popular, but he does come to mind where his trainer, he's right-handed. But his trainer told him, no, you're going to fight southpaw. And his belief was, the trainer's belief was, you're going to have your stronger hand in front because that's the one that you're throwing the most. The hand that's in the back is going to come with power already. Whether it's your power hand or not, it's coming from the back. You're going to have power to it. Whether I agree with that method or not, but some coaches do that.
Yes. Hold on. I'm connecting with the Roadcaster right now, and I'll let you know, Alex, when it's connected so that we can ask Gunner to call. So right now, okay, it's connected for calls. The Roadcaster right Gunner, now, and I'll let you know, Alex, when it's connected. Go ahead and call so us so that we can ask Gunner and to call. We'll take your call. Right We'd love to talk to you. Okay, it's connected. Hopefully we can hype this fight up. And the Roadcaster right Gunner, now, and I'll let you know, Alex, that we're serious about this. This is history in the making. So when you get a chance, Gunner, if you can hear us, I know it's like a 10-second delay from the live. Go ahead and call us, and we'll accept that.
We'd love to talk to you, Gunner.
Yeah. So no, not yet. Just when he calls right now. So whenever, Alex. But you know what? There he is. So let's go ahead and put our headphones on. Give us a second. Hello, Gunner. Are you in the building?
Absolutely. Bang, bang. Here I am.
Absolutely. Bang, bang. Thank you for calling. Welcome to Roadium Radio. I'm excited to have you on. I'm sure the fans are excited to have you on. And here we have Cholo Trucker, and we have David Rocha, a.k.a. Sir Dino. And I quote Cholo Trucker. He said that if you had met him in person, you would not have accepted this fight. How do you feel about that?
I absolutely agree. I probably wouldn't have, because I would have thought he was too small for me.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I probably wouldn't have accepted it for his own well-being and for the safety and security of oneself, meaning him. I probably wouldn't have, but hey, it is what it is now. The ball's rolling, the match is lit, and it's time to burn the house down. So with that being said, I appreciate the fact that what this is about, what's behind this, the motivation, history in the making. We're really doing it. It's something that's been a long time coming. It's something that the Raza has been looking forward to. And it's at the doorstep now, and we just got to cross that threshold and make it happen. So I'm just very honored and humbled to be a part of this, and history in the making. I'm ready.
Yes. And once again, we want to thank you for calling. But I have a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you. Some questions that I asked Cholo is, how long now have you been training, and how is that coming along?
So the moment that I heard that I was called out and I accepted the boxing match, I immediately went into lightweight. See, I'm not the type of guy that sits there and trains constantly. I did a lot of prison time. I'm one of those bosses that, hey, when I'm in there, I'm working out, I'm doing my thing, but as soon as I get out, hey, I kind of relax and just go to work and do my own thing. I'm not sticking with the grind. But as soon as I knew that this boxing match was real and I'm being called out and I'm being challenged, I immediately went into a nutritional diet. I went into lightweight calisthenics, just like Cholo, not thinking that it was such a big deal, thinking, okay, we're going to spar, put on the exhibition, and that was that. The moment that I see that it started to snowball effect and get big, I really dedicated myself. So I would say probably about the same time as Cholo, maybe the last 3 weeks, I've really got out there and pounded that pavement, and I'm really making it happen. I got me a trainer. I travel pretty much every weekend out of state to go work out with this trainer. He comes to me one week, I go to him. Of course, the COVID kind of affected it, but I'm just dedicated to my craft and to working out and doing what I have to do to get prepared and be fully ready for this fight. So about 3 weeks.
Awesome. Well, you know what? And this is one thing I didn't ask. I'm sure you guys know, how many rounds is this fight going to be for?
It's going to be 4 2-minute rounds, and the last round will be a 1 minute free-for-all, brawl till he falls type round. So basically a 9-minute fight. Goes by fast, but it'll be hot and heavy. We're going to be going toe-to-toe. I guarantee that.
It's not going to go fast for him, I'm telling you that. It's going to be a long night for the gun.
How do you feel about that, Gunner?
Hey, I mean, talk is talk, and I hear Carnival and Frivolous talking constantly. It's just part of the YouTube world, and it's part of the world that we live in. I've heard it over and over again since I was a little kid, and hey, guess what? Talking's never stopped me. Talking can't take a hit like I throw. So, I hope he's prepared. I've seen in his workout videos. I mean, the guy's pretty healthy. The guy looks like he has stamina, but none of that's going to help him when I knock him out in the first round.
Right. You know what? And I'm quoting Mike Tyson. He said, every person has a game plan, which he was referring to boxers. Every boxer has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. And,
exactly.
And you know what? Sometimes that changes. You can have a game plan, but as soon as you get rocked, hey, everything changes. Anything you care to add to that, Cholo?
No, and you're right about that, Tony. And the thing is that, he's going in there with that mentality, like everybody has a game plan till you get punched in the mouth. The thing is, he doesn't know that he's the one that's going to get punched in the mouth.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? And I quote Gunner, he said that he would not have accepted this fight if he would have met you in person because you're so small. But, there's also guys like Chiquita Gonzalez back in the day, small guy, champion. Are you a little worried about him being small, maybe being crafty, maybe being hard to hit, Gunner?
I've been telling people, and everyone asks me the question constantly. They say, are you underestimating Cholo? And I say, absolutely not. I go into a fight, I go into any type of boxing match or anything, and I'm not going to say that I've boxed before. This is basically my first boxing match. But I go into any type of battle with the mindset of never underestimating your opponent. I know his speed is up to par. I know his stamina. I mean, he's a marathon runner, so I'm pretty sure his win is where it needs to be. And I know but his mindset and the type of person he is, believe me, I've watched his extensive videos of all his videos. I like to get into people's minds and read their minds. Every look, every sniff, every twist, every turn. So I'm watching his eyes, the way they move, and I can tell you right now, that man is prepared, but I could also tell you that man cannot take my punch. This I guarantee.
Wow.
Well, we're 1 month away from, finding out, right? I mean, it's 1 month away. Hey, Gunner, I'm glad that you're taking this serious. I'm glad that you got a trainer. I'm glad that everything's going good for you, man, because, come 1 month from today, as a matter of fact, man, there shouldn't be any excuses from your side or my side. I guarantee you there's not going to be any excuses on my side, Holmes.
Oh, definitely never an excuse. You're just going to dust yourself off and try again. We understand that. But at the same time, remember this. This is not a little kid hitting you in the stomach. If I hit you, I'm breaking ribs, bro.
Oh.
No, he said it right there right, Tony. He said it right there right. If he hits me.
Oh, okay.
If that there's the big IF right there. Yeah, if he hits me. See, everyone, there's a lot of people talking about like, oh, he can't stand his power. One shot and bam, he's gone and everything. Yeah, well, he's got to hit me though. Right. He's got to hit me first, Holmes. You know what I mean? This ain't going to be, I'll guarantee you right now, I'll guarantee to everybody watching right now, because there's a lot of this talk about, hey, he's going to get knocked down in the first round. I guarantee you, he doesn't not knock me out in the first round or in the fight. I guarantee you that.
Wow. Hey, he's guaranteeing everybody their money's worth. Their money's worth.
Oh, absolutely. And what we want to do is we want to put on a show for the people. We want everyone to get their money's worth. And I guarantee just being a part of this pay-per-view, just being a part of what we have going, you got your money's worth already, because you're seeing the Raza united. You're seeing, something for the people, by the people. I consider myself a champion for the people. I always push unity. I push Raza. I'm not going to say I'm a pioneer in this, but I say that I'm trying to just put my little piece to that puzzle and contribute the most I can. As far as this boxing match goes, this is just another piece to the puzzle. Hey, I've been putting this puzzle together my whole life, and guess what, Cholo? You're the last piece. I'm almost done, and I'm going to finish this puzzle.
And you know what? Just kind of to piggyback off what Gunnar was saying right there, man. Okay, like I would not have taken this fight if I didn't respect the man. Okay, I would not have taken this fight if I had any like animosity, like really true anger towards him. I wouldn't have taken this fight. It's a message behind it. It's the charity that we're doing. So it's a blessing. It's an honor to be a part of it, man.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be a part of it. I'm glad Gunnar's a part of it. I'm glad he accepted the fight. And but yeah, you know what? We're not going in there to give hugs and kisses to each other. You know what?
Right.
Once the fight is over, I'll help pick him up, dust him off, and I'll give him a hug then.
Gunnar, really quick.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you have any boxing experience? Like, did you grow up boxing in the gym? Do you have little experience? Can you share with the public?
I would say that in the neighborhood that I'm from, in Merced, California, the San Joaquin Valley, quiet as it's kept, we have a lot of boxers within our community, right? We have a lot of boxers within our community, and there was actually an old trainer, a real good trainer, that was actually good friends with the late great Customato, who was Mike Tyson's, trainer.
Yes,
and
awesome.
his name was Frank Coma. Shout out to Frank Coma, may he rest in peace. Just a very good and gentle soul. But so what he would do was take a lot of youngsters from the neighborhood and just teach us some basic fundamentals. I myself got incarcerated at a young age, so I never got to pursue that. I do remember being in some of the buildings when he was doing this, but I've had a lot of friends that do have excessive training, so I've been around a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of guys that have pugilistic skills, and I've actually had to street fight with them. I know that street fighting is much different from boxing. It's a whole different animal, but I mean, fighting to me is fighting. Boxing is boxing. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to just employ all the skills that I have, and now that I'm training and everything, that I think it's going to all work out. I think it's all going to work out. And yes, I say the word think because you never know what could happen. It could end fast. I could end them fast. It's all on my time. He's on my time now. Right now, it's dinner time. Everybody knows what time it is. It's dinner time. And, I'm sorry, Cholo. You just happen to be caught up at the wrong point in time. But, hey, last step for taking the fight. I appreciate you. And like I said, there's no animosity towards Cholo either. I really respect him. I respect his skills. I respect the man, a good family man. And it's nothing but love and respect. But at the same time, when we get in that ring, I'm going to have to humble him. Just very much humble him.
Yeah, no, he's coming to the ring thinking he's the big bad gun. He's not even a super soaker when he steps into the ring. He's one of those little water pistols. I respect him. It's all good and everything, but hey, Gunner, stick to menudo. Pozole is too much for you, Holmes.
Hey, all I gotta say is when I get in there, I'm gonna pluck the feather out of his hat. I'm gonna flatten his hat, pluck the feather, throw one of those red stickers on his truck, bulldoze him over, and move on to the next opponent. Saskia Logan Paul, I'm winking at you. Orderly, what's up?
Just a couple of more questions, Gunnar. But David, really quick, any questions or anything you want to say to Gunnar or to Cholo now that they're on the phone together?
Sorry, man. I'm proud of both of them. I really am proud of both of you guys of everything that you're doing. And I don't think, maybe you do realize that you are, that's a lot of weight that you guys are carrying for our people.
Yes.
I've often said that to my daughter that graduated, she's a nurse now. She went through her bachelor's, and I said, Mija, when you got that diploma, when you got that degree,
yes,
do you realize the blood, sweat, and tears of the generations before you that worked in the fields? For you to, you're not only receiving that for yourself, you're receiving it for me and for my parents and our grandparents,
Yes.
and everything we came from. And I say the same thing to both of you, is that there has been so much hate and bloodshed between Raza,
yes,
that when you guys are there in the ring, I'm just really, really proud of both of you, man. And the very fact that I can just be a small little part of history in the making.
And I'm thankful that I'm able to be a part of this history in the making as well, to help promote and to push and asking Raza to support this for a good cause, So I want to, I have a couple of more questions for you, Gunnar, but I want to thank you guys openly and publicly for putting this together and stepping out, if you will, maybe out of your comfort zone and coming together, putting on this event for us, for unity and, you know what? I'm just hoping that it turns out to be a great blessing, and that there will be more to come. You know.
Oh, we highly appreciate you, and I'm going to speak for myself as well as Cholo Chargers, and I know he feels the same way. We highly appreciate you, and we're humbled with this opportunity to, champion the Raza. Basically, go out there and show everybody that hey, two guys that come from two totally different backgrounds, that come from two different sides of the land, two different streets, man, are just the same. We're just the same. We're all Raza. We're all brown skin at the end of the day, and we're going in there with the same mindset to win. And we're going in there with the same mindset as to win for the people. So, I mean, there is no losers in this. It's not a win-lose situation. It's a win-win. That's the way I'm looking at it. Of course, I'm going in there with bad intentions. But at the end, I'll pick them up off the ground, and there'll be good intentions. So, I got to do what I have to do. But at the same time, I just appreciate the fact that we're able to, we're given this opportunity. This is something I never seen, ever coming in my life. It's very humbling.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it is, man. And David, I mean, it's an honor and a blessing for you to be a part of it. Serio, man. It's just when I heard that you're going to be a part of it, I was like, wow, a legend. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, you know what? Being brought up, it was always, some way, somehow, it was put in us to like hate one another. Yeah. And not just so much, on one side of California and another side of California, but even in our streets, even just locally, it was always just put in there just to, hate somebody from another block or 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away, or whatever it may be. And it was always leading to just bloodshed and hatred and not supporting one another. So definitely, it's a very humbling and blessed feeling to be a part of something like this.
Yes.
And, unfortunately for Gunner, he's the one that's gonna have to be in the ring, man. So, tune in 1 month from now and you can see me put hands on a punching bag. I mean, Gunner, two more questions, and then we're going to go to break. Is there going to be a weigh-in? We're dealing with something like that to have something the day before. I'm not really sure if it's an actual weigh-in, but there will be something. There's in the works that we'll do something the day before, whether it be a press conference, something like that. It's not yet set in stone, but there will be something the day before, whatever it may be.
Absolutely, and I just wanted to reiterate to piggyback off that. Yes, we're still, there's a lot of things that are still in the works. I mean, things are happening daily. Me and Cholo are being told just to focus on our training, focus on each other in the match, and let the guys behind the curtain take care of the business, which we are. Or I know I am at least, and I'm pretty sure Cholo's doing the same thing. We're focusing on the task at hand, and putting our trust and filling our trust into the guys behind, basically behind the camera. At the same time, there has been talk of a weigh-in, there has been talk of some type of press conference. We're trying to do this as professional as we can, but then again, hey, we're new at this. And we're just doing the best we can for the people, but we promise that we're going to give our all. Everything's going to be done as professionally as possible. And it's going to be an extravaganza. It's going to be something to watch. It's going to be something that's never happened before. That we can guarantee. That's for sure.
Awesome. My final question, Gunner. Give us your prediction.
Prediction is I get him in the second round. I think I get him in the second round with my power and quiet as his chest, my speed. A lot of people, they see what we put out there for them to see. I'm a firm believer in truth, and I know that everything is not all what it's cracked up to be, right?
Right.
Out there, especially in the YouTube world, you want people to see what you want them to see, and you can spin it however you want to. Now, me being the way I am, I'm a realist. Everything I speak and everything I say is real, but at the same time, that's why I'll hold nothing back when I say that I put out there what I want people to see. Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. I'm more out of shape than Cholo. I'm a bigger man. I'm coming in with 18-inch arms, 6 foot, 220 pounds. I'm a lot bigger than him, but hey, he calls out the monster. He wants to be, so now he has to deal with it. So with my training and everything that I'm putting into it, my game plan, and like you said, one punch can change the game plan, but that's when you go into plan B. And, all I can say is second round, TKO. I don't say knockout. I say I don't. You know, I'm not trying to hurt the guy. I'm just trying to drop him all over that ring. I'm trying to just push him around the ring, not bully him, but push him into them ropes and just work him over a little bit so he knows not to make frivolous comments and not to ever do this ever again and just stick to driving trucks.
And I'll just go ahead and say
Prediction.
this. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say this, okay? Gunner is a lucky man. You know why? Because this is happening before Christmas. Because all he's want for Christmas is his 2 front teeth.
There it is, y'all. There it is. Gunner, any final words, my brother, before we take a break?
He got me with that one. 2 front teeth, man. They're gonna be calling him the Whistler when I'm done with them. hey, all I say is you better sit down, drive, and whistle while he works because it's on the correctly.
Gunner, thank you, man. We want to thank you here on behalf of Roadium Radio and my team for calling in. This was much fun. This is much needed, and I hope and pray that this is, unity, history in the making. So thank you once again for calling.
Hey, gracias, Tony. I appreciate you, man. You are also a legend, brother. I've been following your career from way back in the days, High C and all that. And man, just great platform, great podcast, great work, man. You're for the Raza, by the Raza. Same thing as me, man. I appreciate you. Mr. David Rocha, of course, I extend my greatest gratitudes, man. You've always been a part of my life, so you didn't know it. And Cholo, man, it's a pleasure, bro, and I'm honored to even get in that ring with you, bro, and to be able to throw those hands. And it's just a blessing how us two have come together, man. And we were meant to cross paths in our life. Just too bad you're not going to have a full set of teeth. But, hey, that's just the way it works out sometimes. But gracias, I appreciate you guys.
Yes. Yeah, brother, God bless, man.
Get that popote ready so you can eat your menudo. That's what you're going to need, a popote to eat your menudo now, man. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing to do this with you, Gun.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Have a blessed
one. Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
All right. Goodbye.
Peace. Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We're going to come back with Joe Castro and everybody here. We're going to have our final thoughts, and we're going to go ahead and continue to put the link on the screen so that you guys can tune in June 26th, Cholo Trucker versus Gunner versus Cholo Trucker. And you guys heard it here first on Roadium Radio, and we'll be back 10 minutes.
I never.
and Tony A, chilling at the Roadium with my homeboy Steve. Be on the lookout for our new 12-inch, the shit is dope. Yo, I like to say what's up to my homeboy Dre, my homeboy Prince of Jazz, and the girls with the big ol' ass. So Trip, I'm about to bust one more time to let y'all niggas know just what's on my mind.
In the morning, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across my bathroom floor. Out my back window, I make my escape. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape. Mad with no music, but happy cause free. And the street to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket weighing at least a grand.
Ice Cube getting dumb at the Roadium with the funky drum, and you know my man Steve can get some. With a fool like Tony A when he plays stupid dope shit by WA. You wanna spray? Dumb motherfuckers, no doubt. And sucker DJ, get the fuck out. Tony A.
What did you say your name was? What did you say your name?
Tony A.
I have won 1 million battles.
Lights, cameras, action, sound. Give me that mic, I'm about to go down.
Thinking of a master plan.
This story's funny. I met this girl and she had money.
Welcome back, everybody, to Roadium Radio episode 164, and I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. I also want to give a big shout out to Gunnar for calling and being a part of this show. We want to thank everybody once again on the live chat, everybody who's liked, subscribed, who's shared, even the naysayers, even the haters. You guys are still watching, so thank you for being a part of this show. And I want to give a shout out, special shout out to my boy Jen from Fashion Town for always blessing me with the hats, always blessing me with the Dickie shorts and the shirts. It's almost like he sponsors Roadium Radio. And he also actually even sponsored Mr. D's video shoot with some nice Pendletons, you know, with some nice t-shirts, some bandanas, all of that. So if you guys want to help and support Fashion Town, Jen, much love, much respect. Go visit Jen at Fashion Town. Tell them Tony A sent you. Promo code Roadium Radio for a discount. I'm just playing. So with that being said, we're going to come back to David Rocha, a.k.a. Sardino, Joe Castro, one of the producers of Kilroy, and Cholo Trucker, soon to be champion of this amateur boxing event. History in the making. And I'm only playing Gunner. I'm just trying to be comical here. But you know what? There was something that you wanted to bring up, and I think it's a good idea that we talk about it. So,
yeah, you know, because you know people are watching and they get at me like, hey man, you got Tony A here, you know, and you're not bringing this up. You know, I dropped a video talking about this, so now that we're here live and we could talk about it. Tony, I have the utmost respect for you. This is the first time I meet you.
Yes.
I never dropped any disrespect your way or to anybody.
Yes.
I did make a video talking about the Chicano rap documentary that you're making. So now that we're here, you know, I just kind of want to ask you, where are we, or where are you with the Chicano rap documentary?
Right. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you asked me that, because every so often, people that follow Roadium Radio, every so often, I always give kind of like updates. The mistake that I did with the Roadium mixtape DOCUMIXERY is that I was promoting it while I was still filming it. I had never ever did a project of that magnitude, period, you know, at all. This was actually my very first project of me directing. And I kind of got pushed into it because the guy that was filming it, I thought he was going to direct it. But I kept trying to tell him what to do, and he said, man, you just do it. So that's how I became a director. I did a project that was supposed to be about 45 minutes long, and it turned out to be about 4 hours long. We cut it down to maybe 3 hours. One thing that I didn't know when I was promoting it, that it would take me about a year to shoot. I interviewed over 20 people. And it took me about a year to edit 3 hours worth. To do a film festival version, which was an hour, it was a little bit less, obviously, because we already had all the footage. We just took out the small pieces and kind of crunched it into 1 hour. That's what people can get for free on the YouTube channel. Now, as far as the Chicano rap documentary, I had an idea, because filming the the DOCUMIXERY, I almost went broke because everything was pretty much my own money. Out of pocket, I didn't ask anybody for anything. So what I did, I made an announcement. If anybody wants to contribute, I'll leave it up to the fans. That's all it was a donation. No era préstamo, it wasn't like I asked for a loan. Hey, if you guys like the DOCUMIXERY and you guys want to support me doing a Chicano rap documentary, the GoFundMe is right there. And I want to thank everybody who contributed, because within weeks, I met our goal. Our goal was 15,000. And we hit almost 20K. Okay. Now, anybody who's wondering about the financial status of what we spent on, you can go to documixery.com. It's been out there for a couple of months, where you can click on the Chicano rap and it breaks down everything that we spent, what everything cost, and how much is still left in the budget. So I've always been transparent with the fans, always. But I have to bring this up because it wouldn't be complete. Nobody ever questioned the DOCUMIXERY. The Chicano rap documentary. Nobody ever did until two individuals started going live. And sad to say that those two guys were contributors of the Chicano rap documentary. I keep wanting to say DOCUMIXERY. They were contributors. And then one day, like a light switch, everything just changed. I went from being their friend to he's ripping off our people. First of all, they never referred to Raza as our people. All of that started here, with this platform. They started using my words. He needs to give our people back. He needs to give our people back. I'm sure people reached out to you and reached out to other people. Hey, that guy is dirty. Here's what I always challenge the people. What I always said, outside of those two people, have you ever heard any negative remarks or any negative stories or any dirt on my name? Never. So I asked the people, consider the source where it's coming from. These are people that used to be my friends. If you can turn your feelings off and on like a light switch, then you were never really a friend. So with that being said, we're about a third ways. All the B-roll footage is finished. B-roll footage, for those that may not know, is the streets, the signs, the drone footage. All of that is done. COVID really stopped everything. Almost for a whole year. Nobody wanted to do interviews, and some that wanted to do interviews wanted to do it with a mask. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Now, my vision for this documentary that I was sharing with you during the break is much bigger than just a documentary. And I was sharing with you, and the reason why I won't go into depth about sharing what my plans are is because I don't want nobody taking my ideas. I'm a firm believer in, if you have a good idea, keep it to yourself. So with that being said, we are starting up again. We're about a third finish. Can I give an estimate of when it'll be done? Not necessarily when it'll be released. Keep in mind, it took a year to film the DOCUMIXERY. It took a year to edit. Okay, all I'm asking the fans is, you know what? Give me time. And I would probably say either late this year or early next year, it'll be done. And then I'll come with a date, Well,
one more thing that people were asking me, incentives. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there was some confusion or not, but a lot of people didn't know how to get to the incentives.
Right.
What, did we miss something or there's some people that got at me and said like, hey man, I was able to get linked up with that. But then there was other people that were like, hey man, I'm with you. I don't know. I didn't see anything with the incentives.
Right. Well, here's what the incentives, and I said it from day one. And I told you this, Cholo, and I told David this, you know what? Truth never changes, lies always change. I've always said this from day one. Anybody who gives over $50 or more will get an incentives. Obviously, the incentives is, number one, you get the DOCUMIXERY for free. You get to watch our old one for free on our website. Unlimited streaming. You get your name, on the at the end, that this documentary was, if you will, possible by these following people. Anybody over $50, okay? And then you get your DVD. That was the incentive. But I always said it from $50 on up. There were people that donated $5, $10, $20, and it's greatly appreciated. But those people started coming at me, hey, now you're changing the price. I have never, ever changed that price. As a matter of fact, if you go on our website and click on the Chicano Rap, it tells you everything right there. And if $50 or more, you will receive incentives. But you have to contact us. And let me tell you something. Less than 80% of people contacted us for their incentives.
Okay.
We sent out an email to every person who gave over $50 or more to respond to get your incentives. And less than 80% didn't respond. And it was that simple.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said in my video, maybe I just didn't pay attention enough. Maybe it went over my head.
Right.
It just for the people that are watching, are those incentives still there? The
Yes,
incentives?
it is.
Okay.
And if you still want to give, that's fine. I have to say that we've already met our goal. There's still people that give $20, $30 every so often, and we really appreciate it. But the incentive, the goal was already met. So we want to thank the people for that. And I want to thank you for bringing that up because I believe it's important that we clear it up. Somebody had brought that video to my attention that you had did. And to be honest with you, I only watched a little bit because I have seen other ones where people are saying, this guy's a snake, this guy this guy that. And they don't even know me, man. They don't even know me. Look, over 150 people have my studio address, okay? Not one soul has ever, hey man, where's my money? Or hey man, not one person. But it's people, or should I say trolls on social media that just like to talk. There was one guy that made another video saying, hey Tony, are you a snake? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I reached out to him, and I'm thankful that he actually gave me his number and I called him. And I said, any question you want to ask me, ask me. And the same thing that you asked, same thing that I shared with him as well. Yeah, he murió, and it was over. But let me say this. It was those two individuals that started to kick up dust. And those two individuals that I consider friends, and they consider me a friend too, that went ahead and started, blaming me for all of this other stuff. Other than that, I challenge people. Have you heard anything negative about me outside of those people? Since 1987, I've been in this music industry. Never had any fallouts with anybody because I always kept my name clean. And then for them to do that, I just thought it was unfair, especially since I considered them friends. Now, I didn't have to do this. It was up to the people to donate, and right. It was a donation, and that's all it was. So, but I will say this that I thought was kind of funny, and we'll end it with this. One of those guys one day called me real late at night, and I knew he was drunk, and I said, "What do you want?" And he just said like this: "You came and you took what was ours." That's what he said, and I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You are the envy of all Chicano rappers." Now keep in mind, I'm half asleep, and I said, dude, what are you talking about? And he says, we've all tried to start GoFundMes and nobody's ever supported us. He was in here, you come out of nowhere and they support you. So I knew when all that animosity started, where it was coming from.
Yeah, that's sad, especially like when it's Raza, hating on Raza, especially when you're trying to do something that's positive, like what we're doing with the fight. Right. You still get those trolls, you still get those people and naysayers and stuff like that, and right. Same thing with you. You're trying to do something for us, yes. But yet they're gonna throw the biggest wrenches in front of your in the works. You know what I mean? And that's sad. That's really sad.
And it comes from our own people.
And, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And then we wonder why we never, climb the ladder, why we never move up. Yeah. For an example, let's just put that aside, and I hope I answered your question. If not, you can ask me more. I'm an open book. When I had David here, David knows that I've received a lot of heat. The first time, nobody brought that up. As a matter of fact, they said his story was very, very powerful. He had over 70,000 views. Nobody said nothing. But when I brought him back the second time, those same two individuals started up again. Same thing over and over and over again. I got mad love for people in San Diego. A lot of rappers from San Diego I've supported and loved, and we started communications. After he came the first time, they all still came and sat in the same chair he was sitting in. Nobody ever said nothing. But when those two brought him up again, he's interviewing this guy and this guy, all of a sudden the heat started coming back up again. He supports these people, he's a thief, he's this, just talking, Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I think I probably started the first fight here on Roadium Radio when I said I'll move this table out the way and I'll go heads up with both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and I'll just say they could put me in that same category because I support this man too, 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great man, and consider him a friend.
You know, and I said this before, David. David is a man of God. He's a pastor. And if there's anybody that I fear other than God, is a man of God. The last person that I ever want angry at me is God for mistreating one of his own. Now, if the world wants to continue to look at David for what he was in the past and still judge him for that, you're not in a good place, because you're judging someone whom God has already forgiven.
Yeah, and if it's like that, then we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're all of us.
Yeah, all of us.
All
you
of
know?
us.
And I want to say one thing, like
Yes, sir.
talking about your the thing that you're filming. You know what I mean? The thing is, they don't understand how much work it goes into making a movie or a documentary, or it's so much work. And you know, I mean,
Yes.
especially if you're doing it alone.
Yes.
I mean, we do it with a crew of a lot of people, and I'm talking about editing. I'm talking about sound. You're talking about color correction. I mean, it's a lot, and it takes more than a year to make a movie, or even to make a short film can
Yes.
take almost a year. I'm talking about 15-minute short film because of all the technology. Losing my words. It takes a lot of work.
Yes.
You know, to sit there at the computer, and it takes one guy to do this, then you pass it over to the next guy and the next guy. It's a lot of work. So for you to be doing it, you know, by yourself, or even if it was 2 or 3 of you, it's gonna take well over a year. And that's not even with COVID.
Yeah.
Or, you know, not being a professional at your craft.
Yeah. Yeah. My team consists, majority of the time, 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Now, I started this DOCUMIXERY really quick, 2017. And I was doing it while I was still working. I actually ended up leaving my job of 15 years. I belong to a local 562 Teamsters. I've been a Teamster for 15 years. Okay. I was 5.5 years away from early retirement when you receive your golden 80, where you can qualify for early retirement. And I left because I was making pretty good money selling merch, selling CDs or whatever. And I thought, you know what? I want to live the retired life. You know what I'm saying? I want to do what I love. I always said out here on the show, I don't want to be 70 years old in a rocking chair saying to myself, I should have just took that chance. So I take that chance now that I'm 53. I started, 3 years ago, 2017. So trying to edit and film while I was working, it was very, very tough. Especially when you go in at 3 o'clock in the morning, get out at 11:30 in the afternoon. You go to the gym, come home, take a nap, and you try to live a decent life, but you got to go film. So a lot of people don't know that. That's why I was out of the game for such a long time. A lot of people say, well, I never heard of you. And I understand that because I was gone for damn nearly 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, well, another thing that a lot of people may not know, when I started in 87, it started by Mixtapes. I was signed to Disney in 1990. My record came out in 1991. This December, it'll be 30-year anniversary of my record. And as a matter of fact, of a Chicano and a black man from the city of Compton, the first rap group to ever be signed to Disney. So we made history there. Then in the late 90s, 96, 97, 98, I started working with all the Chicano rappers. So I always get people tell me, well, you know what, who did you work with? I work with Ross, Lil Payne, Little Rob, JV, you name them. I work with them all. But I took that break.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to. I have a family, So if people want to say, well, where are you? You know what? That doesn't matter. It's where I'm at now. Yeah. And let's move forward from here on out. And I'm thankful that I'm sitting here across from Cholo Trucker, being a part of something that I believe is going to be historical. And it's the first. And for you guys to give me the opportunity to interview you guys here, to me, it's a tremendous blessing. It's well worth what I'm doing.
And just to put, just to make this clear, I'm not choosing anybody's side, because to me, there are no sides. To me, it was always just about the Chicano rap documentary. There's no, there's his side, there's that side. I'm not choosing anybody's side, but I brought it to your attention. I wanted to talk to you about it, and you were open. You were a stand-up guy. You're like, hey, let's do it. Let's do it in front of the cameras. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to talk to you on the side. And you're like, hey, we could do it in live. I got nothing to hide. So I want to make that clear, man. You've been a stand-up guy so far, So I got nothing bad to say about it. I just wanted to bring that up, man. And hey, I appreciate you answering the questions, Tony, on the set, man.
Thank you, my brother.
It takes a lot of heart.
Thank you, my brother.
And I appreciate what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Definitely, man. It's a blessing, but also want to thank you for not taking shortcuts. You know what I mean, with the project you're doing. Because a lot of guys, there's some people that would just take a shortcut and say, okay, here you guys go. and but not be like the product you want to really put out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know you're saying you want to put out something that's gonna be like perfect. You know what I mean?
You know, my thing is this. I thought I did my humble opinion, I thought I did a great job with the DOCUMIXERY. I never had not one complaint, not one. But I promised the people that with this one, I'm going to knock it out of the ballpark. That's what I said. But it needs to be done right. It needs to be done right. We need to release quality, good film. And I'll tell you why, because not just for them, but I'm making a statement here that Hollywood needs to see that there's talented people amongst our Raza.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what, man? I got a lot to say about that. And it's such a blessing to be a part of this fight. It really is, man. And, you know, a different mentality and a different way of thinking. Man, I take a look around, Tony, and to everybody here and to everybody watching. You know, I take a look around and I'm like, damn, man, there are some very talented gente. Serio, man, like big time, you know. And it's sad, it's a shame that that a lot of people didn't live up to it, you know, spending time either behind the walls or running around in the calles, because you look at some gente and you're like, damn, man, this guy's really talented, or this girl's really talented, you know. But I was talking to Pastor a little earlier, and it's like when I was growing up, doing bad was always the good thing to do. You know what I mean? Doing bad was always the impressive thing to do, Holmes. When you even just think about like drinking, you know, and I still, you know, I still drink a little here and there, but when you're young, it's like, hey, come on, drink up, man. And it's like, hey, you have to hang. And if you stop drinking, it's like, orale, you can't hang, dog. You can't hang. And it's like, do worse, and then you're put up there. You're looked up to. The worse you can do, the more bad things that you involve yourself in and put into your life growing up, at least for me, you know, the more you're looked up to.
Yes.
You know, you do time. You know, you're doing bad things. You're stealing. You're robbing. You're you know, doing things that you shouldn't be, things that aren't productive, and that was always looked up to. You know, myself included.
Yeah.
You know, I looked up to that all the time, and I had, you know, older vatos always saying like, hey man, you know, stay in school, don't do what I do, but you know what, stay in school. I'm like, chale, I want to do what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because what you're doing gets me to listen to you. And I want to go ahead and be in your position because kids start listening to you because you got the gang stories, you got the war stories, you got the prison stories, you got the all that stuff that when I was a kid, I thought it was cool as hell. I thought it was freedom, homie. I was like, damn, you know what? And all the time, Tony, and to everybody here, Joe and Pastor, all the time, it was always look up to, you know, people that are always doing wrong. And that's how it was. And you know what? I see a shift happening. Everybody's not involved. Not everybody's doing it, and not everybody's going to be involved. That's okay. That's all right. You know, that's just the way the world is. Okay?
Yeah.
We're not in a utopia. But there's a shift. And I'm just damn proud to be part of it, man. And I'm not just talking about our YouTube channels. I'm not just talking about this fight coming up. I'm just talking about, you know, gente really changing their mentality and saying like, chale, man, you know, we got to start pushing ourselves up there. There's so much talent that I've seen, man, that we're, you know, a lot of us have wasted it. You know, who knows, man? This fight with Gunner and myself, who knows? Maybe I would have been pretty badass in the boxing ring. Sad thing is, we'll never know. Make sure that our youth, you know, they don't have to go through that. They don't have to, years later, think back like, man, what if? You know, because in a lot of our lives, it's a lot of what if.
Yes.
You know, rewind 20 years, rewind 25 years, rewind 30 years. What if? Chales, that time is done, at least for me. I'm sure I could speak for everybody here, but for damn sure is done for me, man. I'm tired of that. Chale, homie, I'm not looking up to that anymore. I'm not saying, you know, I have hatred in my heart. I don't. I let go of all that stuff, you know, but that's it, man. You know, our youth can really come up, do some really great things, And you know, if we're doing great things, if we're pushing a certain way, our youth can actually look up to something like that. And I'm just saying, man, I'm damn proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, let me say thank you for your encouraging words, because if anybody needs encouragement, especially this, you know, today, you know, we didn't grow up with social media, you know, so this is a whole new world to us that we're learning. And thank God that we can stay on top of it. And, you know, because we have a lot of internet bangers that like to talk a bunch of mess, and sometimes it gets under our skin, but they do it on purpose. I get it. I understand it. You know, it's funny. Let me just share something really quick since I brought up internet bangers. I was going to the gym the other day, and I'm watching this couple walk out, and this one guy's covered up in all tattoos. Looks like a crazy dude, maybe like 5'2" dude. But he was covered up in tattoos, and I'm looking at him like, man, that guy looks like the type of guy that fits a description of somebody doing 25 to life, okay? This, like, kind of like nerdy, preppy looking dudes walking out of the car, and as they pass each other up, they look at each other, and the nerdy guy looks at him and goes, oh, what's up? So I turned down my stereo, and he goes, what's up? The guy with the tattoo, he goes, you're the guy that was talking all that crap on social media. He says, on Instagram, you were calling me out. You were talking all that crap. Yeah, now I run into you, and you ain't running your mouth. And that guy didn't know what to say. We have that generation today that boom, 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 boom. But back in the days, if somebody had a problem, we would have said, hey, man, you know what? I don't like the way it went down. We're going to have to handle it. Let's go around the corner or whatever. Today, everything was like, oh, I hate you. You suck. Or you're a dropout. Or you're a lev out. You're this. And that guy got caught slipping. And he was just like, hey, man, I might have said a couple of things, but dispensa.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy because our social media back in the day, at least back in my day, man, my social media was Teen Angel. The magazine Teen Angel, man. Everybody wanted to get on that. I was on that, man. But Teen Angel, hey, shout out to Teen Angel. I remember that magazine. Everybody used to try to get on that and do their thing, man. But that was it.
And back then, the way we unfriended people was beating them up.
Yeah. And do you remember, like, back in the day, if you had a problem with somebody, you throw chingazos, right?
Yeah.
And whoever hit the floor, it was done. And then you help them out the up, shake hands, and it was done.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Drink a pisto with him, too.
Yeah. What I see, it's amazing. Nowadays, you see that World Stars and these kids are fighting, and when that person's down, they still continue to kick them. They still
continue to kick them.
And everything's like, man, what happened? You know what I mean? What happened?
Yeah. But I'm thankful for your encouraging words that we need better role models and better examples, I should say. And I believe that this history in the making, I hope that it really creates and starts something new, the beginning of it. We may never, ever see the fruits of it down, years from now, but we can at least say that it's starting here. So with that, David?
I wanted to add to what you were saying is that, having done 6 years incarcerated in federal prison, I've met the most talented, smartest people in there, and exactly what you're saying. And it's so sad because you meet so many people of what they could have done, what they could have been, and people that got life, 20, 25 years, a lot of time, people that were, just great writers, script writers, poetry, drawing, just intellectual, lawyers. It's just crazy to see that. It's very sad, And that's why that's again, just to be a part of this, to hear your channel. I didn't hear about you until this fight, but then obviously I'm like, who's Cholo Trucker? You know what I mean? So I go over there, and on the first video, I subscribe, because to hear another Chicano be intellectual and to be smart and to know how to articulate things and think, you know what I mean? That is unknown, because usually it's like some drunk dude on YouTube, trying to be hard and just to hear you just kind of sharing your thoughts and well thought thoughts, and then when I came the first time to see you, man, and you showed me your library, and the fact that you're a reader and you said, yeah, I've read all these, and that's what I like, and that's what we need, because like you said, growing up, we always had that drug dealer. We always had that veterano that just got out of prison, and that's what we looked up to, and we aspired to that. But I think by you having your channel, you having this platform, doing the movie production with you and Paul giving you a shout out, and the things that they're doing is that, do you realize what we're doing is we're giving these young people something to look up to than the local drug dealer.
Yes.
Or the local guy that just got out the pinta or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, we are doing it now. This right here.
Yeah.
We're creating history now. I know the fight is creating history. But guys, you guys know our background, my background, your background, yours. We're creating history tonight, right here, right now. You know, and we are giving the new generation something to aspire to, something to look at, something to say, man, I don't have to go this way. I can go this way too. I can actually read a book. I could actually, you know, and I remember back in the day, I was always a reader, you know, and I remember homies slightly kind of joking about it because they weren't going to, you know, badmouth me because they're my homeboys, but they'll be like, man, what are you reading? Right. I'm reading a book about Roman history. That's what I'm reading, you know, and this was when I was in 8, 7, like, would have been a senior, but I dropped out. But, you know, 16, 17, trying to read about Roman history, Roman civilization, and some of the old empires. And the homeboys thought I was crazy. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. We need to aspire. We need to rise up. We can't be crabs in a bucket pulling each other down.
Yes, because we've been doing that for years. And let me just say one last thing to a lot of people that want to, because today we have a bunch of people, and believe me, I encourage people to pursue their dreams. And if you're going to dream big. But I also want to say this, and this may hurt some people, but at least if you're going to pursue your dreams, please have the talent to pursue that dream. And I say it for this reason. There's a lot of people that want to rap, okay? And I'm in the rap game. I get it. But you know what? We also need people that work at HBO. We also need people to work at Showtime. We also need people to work at Netflix, and I'll tell you why. Because when we come with our product, we already have our people in there. We're not talking to a guy from Pennsylvania or Canada or Australia. You know, we want to talk to one of our own. I'll tell you why. Because when I shopped the DOCUMIXERY, everybody from the Hulus to the Netflix, everyone, they lived out of state. They didn't grow up in Southern California, so they didn't understand the culture of the mixtape. They didn't understand it. I asked this one guy, do you listen to hip hop? He said, yeah, I grew up listening to The Hammer and MC Young. He didn't even know how to pronounce their names right. Yeah. So here's what I said. I'll be honest with you. I said, do you guys have any black people or Chicanos that work here? Because maybe they don't understand me. We need our people in there so that when we bring our product, they understand and say, this can work. This can work. Especially here in California, we are the number one consumer, especially of this thing we call hip hop. And yet we're on the outskirts of it. Yeah. We buy the tickets, we buy the merch, we buy the albums, we buy everything. And yet none of us has ever made it because of the crabs in the bucket mentality.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the whole thing that everybody wants to be the sport athlete. Nobody wants to be the sports agent. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be, you know, there in front of the camera. They want to be hitting the home runs, you know, stealing the bases and everything like that. But nobody wants to be in the background helping, being part of the team.
Thank you.
You know, and that's what it comes. If you're not athletic, if it's not for you, you know, there's still a way you could be involved.
Yes.
You know, so don't just say, hey, it has to be this and that's it. Because when you have that mentality, that is where you start, well, hey, this guy's better than me. Well, let me try to bring him down, you know, and that is how I'll move up, not by me actually moving up, by bringing him down. Right. You know, so, but you can still be involved in whatever industry it is that you want to be a part of.
You know, when I started producing, people used to tell me, you should start rapping. First of all, I already know damn well I can't rap. I stayed in my lane, you know, but I've helped other rappers, you know, at least make music, make albums, etc. But I knew my lane. I think a lot of people don't know their lane, and I know rappers that are better producers. So you know what I say? Stick with what your strength is. If your strength is in producing, do that and be the best at it. Not necessarily be better or call out other people, but you do you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like with me, with podcasting, I don't try to be better than anybody. You know what it is? I just want to be different. And every single one of us here is different and unique. And that's why we stand out. Now, if all we do is follow the leader, that's all we're doing, just following. That's why music today sounds so much the same. We need to do that sound. That sound is working right now. We need to take that sound. Just be you, you know. So, but I want to bring out this gift that you blessed us with. And can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, that's a poster from the Kilroy movie. That's for me, and Paul brought that out to you. It's actually signed by Steve Villegas, which plays Kilroy's son. It's also signed by Wilson Antonio Ramirez. He played Kilroy. And then it's signed by Brian Eric Johnson. He played Peg Leg Joe Morgan in the movie. And then I signed it. just
awesome, Joe.
I usually charge for mine, but
right.
It's free, Doc. But we appreciate you and appreciate you giving us this time to be on the show today, and wanted to bless you with that small gift.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to hang it up here. It's definitely dope memories. With that being said, we come to the conclusion, but let's end with you. Any final words or any shout outs, and then we'll work our way down to David.
Yeah. Well, first you could give me a shot. Sorry, you could give me a shout out. You give me a shout out, Joe. You can catch me on Cholo Trucker, and for those who like boxing, I'm on Cholo Boxing as well. Man, I got shout outs, man. We'll be here all night, and I don't want to forget anybody. So you know what? Just shout outs to everybody that's supporting me. Shout outs to the G Unit Twin and that whole family. They're accepting me in their home, training out of their home actually. Shout out to my beautiful, crazy loca wife. I love you, baby girl. And just LA Times, Pastor, everybody that's involved with this, Converse Perspective, Flaco, Rojo, man, everybody that's involved, Sonny Boy. We could just go on and on and on and on. But, anybody that's supporting this, hey, gracias. And that includes you guys. You guys that are watching, you guys are a part of this. Anybody who's going to take their time and pay their money, I'm not taking this lightly. That's why I'm training hard. I really want to put on a good performance. If you're going to be paying your money for it, I want to be, performing to the best of my ability. And gracias, because we're doing it for charity.
Yes.
So, there's a few haters that are like, hey, why are you guys charging? Well, then how do we raise money?
How do we raise money? Exactly.
So, you know what? Shout outs to everybody that's in support of this. I highly appreciate you guys, man. And I appreciate you, Tony, for having me on here. Before we close it out, I got one question, man. One question.
Yes, sir.
Who's better, Van Damme or Seagal?
I'm going to have to go with Steven Seagal.
Okay. We'll get into it afterwards, man.
But I don't like his wig, because lately he's been looking terrible.
Yeah.
He's been looking terrible.
He's a hot mess.
The thing that, let me explain, the reason why I didn't pick, Van Damme, I don't like a guy that fights and wants to look sexy. I don't.
Man, see, now we're going to be here all night, man. Now we're going to be here all night. Okay, look, I'm not hating because you picked Seagal.
Right.
But what you just said right there, a guy that wants to be sexy. Seagal gets in a fight, he still has his hair slick, ponytail. Every time he runs like he doesn't want to mess up his hair. So, he never gets hit like he's Superman. His movies, though, are probably just a little bit better than Van Damme. So I'm not going to argue too much, man. But the fighting scenes, the fighting style, I choose Van Damme.
Right. I will say this. You know how I'm a big fan of? If you haven't seen it, go watch him. Ip Man.
Yes.
Ip Man. People call him IP Man, but his name's Ip Man. It's supposedly based on the story. This is Bruce Lee's trainer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. Once you see his movies, Van Damme, you know what? Steven Seagal, vámonos. Honestly.
Okay.
This guy's amazing. Ip Man. Look him up. There's like 4 of them.
It's on Netflix.
Yes. Ip Man. Go ahead, sir.
I'll pass it on now, man.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, I know. I was like, going to have to strong arm you for that one.
Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
See, it is about just can you turn him off, dog. Get him off camera. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Tony, for having us here, man. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And this is a big time blessing to let us use your platform to promote everything going on with the fight and our lives. You know what I mean? I want to thank you for giving Cholo Trucker this glove he's going to use to knock out Gunner. We're going to go ahead and take that with us. Man, gracias. You know what? Shout out to my wife, Linda. And then I'm going to say my son, Joey, Marissa, Vanessa, Alyssa, and Evaristo, my son-in-law. Just everybody at the house. Yeah, Marissa, Vanessa. Yeah, we got everybody. My suegros, gracias for everything. But Big Paul at LA Times. This is our logo, guys. Don't subscribe for LA Times, the newspaper. LATIMEZ. It has a Z at the end. It has a Z. LA Times. Subscribe to us so you can watch and get all the updates and everything going on. So I had to bring this in because everybody's like, I can't find you because LA Times, the newspaper comes up. I always say, put the Z. So don't forget the Z. And Big Paul, man, we can't do this without you, man. Much love, much appreciation to you, just for everything. He couldn't make it today. He sends, he wanted to be here, but he just couldn't. Yeah, he just couldn't. Yeah, man. And one more, 2 more, 3 more, 4. Okay. Cholo Challenge. Cuban. He told me to give him a shout out. And OG Big Wicked. Much love to you too, Carnal.
OG Big Wicked.
Yeah. Andy Rodriguez too, man. And this isn't the Grammy, so put that music in the background telling me to stop. But I'm gonna ask you a question then.
Yes, sir.
In-N-Out Burger or The Habit?
The Habit.
Yeah, I agree.
The Habit.
I agree. That Santa Barbara.
Oh, dude. If you guys haven't tried The Habit, but you know what? I liked it. I like it even the one wrapped in lettuce.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting me hungry now. So, yeah.
I'm already hungry.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, menudo or pozole?
It's going to be pozole. Yeah. Pozole
Yes,
time.
Yes, it is. You're
Yeah.
watching Gunner, right?
Yeah. But if these guys happen to both hit each other and knock out at the same time, then it's caldo.
Yeah, it's caldo.
Yeah.
Then it's
There it
Caldo
is.
de pollo.
Yeah. There you go.
David,
Yes, sir.
last words?
I want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, always. Thank my wife, everybody that's watching. Just to be a part of this, to take the time, take 2 hours out of your life to watch this interview means a lot,
Yeah.
And shout out again to everybody, all the, LA Times, Paul, Cholo Trucker, Gunner, Convict's Perspective with Flaco and Rojo. They just I did an interview with them and they released that today on their Convict's Perspective. And man, just everybody's involved. Yourself, man, yourself. Like I said, I see you as the forerunner of this unity when I came down here to interview with you, and that was a big deal. And just like you said, I think people wanted to see that, and it created something. It's creating something that's stirring, like Cholo Trucker said, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. I do have a YouTube channel myself.
Yeah.
If you guys want to, it's a whole different platform than this. We do a daily devotional, me and my wife. We get a biblical scripture, and then we make it relevant to our everyday living. And a lot of people start their day with it, and my sermons on Sunday and Wednesday Bible study. I know everything's, people don't want to talk about God or whatever, this and that, but when you're alone and you're going through something, come to my channel, man. Come to my channel and just hear some life.
Yeah.
Some life-giving word, and this is something that in the past, before Christ, I went hard. I went all the way for what I thought I believed. And so how much now to be twice as much more, involved, and this is the real thing for me. This is a real life for me. And I really, truly want people to reach out, you never know who's watching. Somebody could be contemplating suicide. Somebody could be, their wife left them, their husband left them. This is real talk, and I'm not playing. This is for reals, and we are here for you, and I'm gonna type my name. I'm just gonna say hello, because then they can click on my
Your YouTube.
Yeah, they can click on me, and that way they can subscribe,
Okay.
So I just put hello on the chat. And just, again, I want to thank you. It's always good to see you. I find reasons to come make my way down here all the time, and
awesome.
thank you guys. And I love the show, just the unity and the fact that we're here in the same camera.
Yeah, I appreciate
Nothing but love for you guys,
Awesome.
and, and you, man,
Thank
you're my brother, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank
So-
you. Let me give a couple of shout outs, and then I'm going to turn it back to you. I'm going to ask you to do something. Everybody, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Gunner for calling in. Also want to thank Cholo Trucker. Also want to thank Joe Castro, David Rocha, a.k.a. Sir Dino. Alex Cervantes Enterprise for running this. Anthony, the Hip Hop Jedi, and my son, the Beast Gallons, for helping me promote this. But I also want to give a shout out to 3D Energy Drinks, who has blessed me with several cases for the show. And thank you for that. And also, since this is called, History in the Making, and this is the first time that Gunner and Cholo Trucker have ever been on a show together, that's history within itself. David, it wouldn't be right to end without you at least closing up a prayer and giving everybody a blessing.
Amen. Lord God, I thank you, Lord, for everything that you've done here, everything that you're creating. Those on the chat room, I know they're saying things. Some of them are joking. Some of them are being ill-spirited. Bless them anyways, Lord God. Bless them double, Lord God. Bless them and their families, Lord God. We thank you so much for having this happen, for bringing unity, for bringing love. In Jesus' mighty name, we thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen.
And we're out of here. We'll see you guys Sunday. Have a blessed night.
You got it.